Why are Zimbabwean men complaining about doing dishes in the UK? This is the common question that has been asked online, that is on Twitter and on all social media platforms. Men are complained about being asked by their women to do dishes in the UK, and this has been a sticking issue. And mainly because the women sometimes are the ones who are in charge of their spousal visa, and they might be the ones who are getting more hours to work than their male partner. And I'm here to answer a lot of questions here. And let me answer at least 5 of these questions that might address this sticking issue. Stick around as I dive into these points and look whether it is permissible or wrong, or maybe it is because of our society that ask men to wash dishes. The first question that we need to address is, are there jobs that are designated for men? The answer is yes. And are there jobs that are designated for women? Yes, of course. From time in creation, depending on what you believe in, it is known that women are known to do jobs that have to do with caring. Naturally, women are carers, and they do home caring and taking care of children, taking care of the elderly, taking care of their husbands, and putting some house in order, or putting some order in the kitchen and in the bedroom. And they are known for their touch, which is very gentle, and that is in the nature of women. Whilst on the other hand, men are known to be doing masculine work, which include lifting heavy stuff or doing hard jobs or work in Masonic work like buildings. And they are also known for being most of the inventions that we have seen across the world. They are done by men. So it is natural to say men are naturally heavy built and they have more strength. As people progress into the Industrial Revolution, in the modern day world, you see men are dealing with big machines, and it brings the question that indeed there are jobs that are designated for men and there are those that are designated for women. This is to balance the ecosystem of men and women. That we ask, is it wrong for a man to help their spouse to do house chores? The answer is there is nothing wrong, and it's a yes and no. There's nothing wrong in one helping their spouse with some house chores, which include some doing some laundry and washing and doing dishes and taking kids to school and taking care of the children. It's part of a family. There's nothing wrong in men doing that, but there are some phases where women face in their life, whereby it could be that they are pregnant, and could be that they are sick, or they might be having a health challenge, it could be a mental breakdown, or they've gone out with work, and a man has to chip in and start to do some of these duties like childcare, school run, and a whole number of things that are done by women naturally. It's something that will be done without any man feeling ashamed of doing these duties. But there is always a challenge when men are being told or being asked to do this by their partner, because in some form they feel like they are being disrespected. That's when their ego comes up. And that is the reason why this is a big conversation and seemingly getting out of hand. People letting know that it's not right for a man to be doing house chores. Some are calling them vanasukari, like what Alpha Shaddai has been saying. It mustn't be done out of compulsion. It must be done out of own volition. And let us move to the next point. Why do women feel entitled to command men to do traditional women's chores? This is the sticking point. You see, men that are in the UK or that are in the diaspora, they find it very hard for their income, because it cannot allow them to have a house helper like what happens in Africa or in Zimbabwe, because these communities, they are very expensive, and life there is way over above the general middle class people. And for them to maintain a lifestyle of keeping the house, they need to help each other. And mostly, men and women are going to work and doing this to support the family, or to pay for the mortgage, pay for the car, and paying for the household goods that makes the family to be in working order, or to have a livable home. Both of them, they are putting food on the table, and that is when when women get to provide more than men, this is where the big question is. And sometimes they feel entitled to make such commands because they are the ones who seem to be having higher leverage than their partner. But what is the role of the ecosystem? It is to work in hierarchy. If there's an ecosystem, it is there to provide hierarchy. We see this in any company. If it does not have a hierarchy, it means that there is somewhere where the line of command must be coming from. And men who are saying, no, you should be respected, they are labeled misogynist or patriarchal. But the issue here is about the approach. How do partners approach this scenario? For example, if a man is not earning much and the woman is earning more, should a man feel entitled that the men do the men jobs? But the answer is about the mutual understanding of the two. Is the man understanding that we now have a different burden than when we were in Africa? That is the question. And knowing that there are duties that needs to be carried and it cannot be laden on one woman. Just like if your woman is sick or if your woman has traveled, you chip in and you do the duty because you understand that you cannot wait for your wife to come back from whether it is work for you to feed the baby. You do this because we are in the same page. That is how people should understand this scenario. Let's go to the next point. Then we come to the sticking point that has caused or sparked this debate. Is it true that what men can do, a woman can do better? This is a cliche or a statement that is being promoted by what I would like to call or label the feminist approach, or what the feminists are pushing for, that what men can do, a woman can do better. I want to answer and say this is no. It's not true that what men can do, women can do better, based on a number of reasons. First of all, it has been proven that the jobs that men naturally do, women cannot do. For example, in the army, a research was done in the US and they tried to test women to do jobs that are done by their male counterparts in terms of cardiovascular work, and they realized that male are faster, and it has been proven that women are 35% slower than men, which means that in the event of the battle, women are likely to compromise a battalion. And in this case, the US military has resolved that they will not allow women to be in the infantry because they compromise a unit. Rather, they are allowed to be helpers, could be drivers, and they are not there to be in the full combat war with men. Probably they are working in the signaling department or doing other work because they are naturally slower than men. So they cannot do better than men. If a soldier has been injured in war, or if another man has been killed, can they carry them? Because naturally men have more weight than women. This is some of the reasons why what men can do, women cannot do better. They can fail. Right. If you look at the civil industry or the construction industry or the mining industry, men can withstand hot temperatures, extreme cold temperatures, and this has been proven, and they can go underground where men naturally cannot go. Right now in South Africa, there are men that are trapped underground, 400 men that are trapped. There is no woman in there. And it's not because they are being discriminated, but they don't find pleasure in doing the work of men, which is in mining. And in some cases, this strength is limited and it cannot be able to withstand pressures that men can do. So it's not true that this cliche which says what men can do, a woman can do better. Because in these heavy conditions, you go to a point where women say, I can't do this job. It's not possible for me to do it. So this cliche is not true. And on number 3, let's talk about the remuneration. A survey was done in the USA and it has been proven that in terms of remuneration, it's not true that women earn more than men. In fact, this has been a sticking debate for the longest time. A lot of women are complaining that in the pay scale, they are earning much, much lesser than men. Despite these issues of now having women occupying managerial jobs. But naturally, when a survey was done, a lot of women were not interested taking managerial positions or becoming a boss of the company that they were working for. Why? Because it's natural for them for not to be liking those kind of jobs. So then we come to remuneration. It's not true that women are now earning more than men because of the jobs that they are doing. It's natural that men can do more work when it comes to heavy work, and it is more effective than compared to men. Take a good example. If you want to take down a fridge in a 9-story building, the feminism will clearly vanish or go away. Only men are able to do such a job, and very few women will be interested in taking up such a job of bringing down a fridge or a bed from a 9-story building. It is true that in some circles that women sometimes earn more in caring work, and in other jobs, some women are excelling in jobs like being lawyers or in the law business. But the truth is, majority of men in that industry are still earning way more. So the issue of remuneration, but the only issue that is happening in the UK is that men that are in the UK are not getting care jobs as much as compared to women. So they are the most preferred gender is women. And that's why they get more hours and they get preferred, and probably they get more tips than men. So they end up earning more, but doesn't mean that they are naturally earning more. And if you look at business people, there are less business people that are occupying, even if you check in the top 20 of the world business people, very few women are there. Even in the top 10, there are no women that are there. So it's natural that men are earning more than women. So let's move to the next point, which is the last one. As we conclude this discussion, the question that we must be asking ourselves to those women that are saying, I want my men to be doing this and that and that and that. The question is, if your man was in such a position of earning more, will he be asking you to do men's job, like to carry a heavy load from a 9-story building? The answer is no. If your man is earning more, they could be asking you to relax and have that job be handed over to a helper or other men that could be doing that job. For example, in a family whereby a man who is earning maybe is in the tax bracket of $200,000 per year, and that man is having a house, obviously they'll hire a house helper and they could hire a garden boy, letting their women to relax or focus on doing vacations and other stuff. But not so with women. Once they start to get earning more, they want to command things not the same way that the men command. But these things happen on individual basis. Sometimes it's because maybe the woman is being reminded of the times that she felt that she was being oppressed by the men, and now it's time to take revenge. But let's take a look at what this lady said, that maybe this thing of commanding men, one day it will come to an end, and this gender will not forgive you. So women out there, please be careful before you make such a decision or before you start to commanding things around, because one day when that man stands up on his feet, he might actually forget you and move into another woman or be taken by another woman who submits to them or who feel that they need to do the wifely duties. So to all you women out there, please be careful what you are wishing for. You never know what is going to happen in the future. From me, JC, tell me what you think about this, and as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.